Hey, this is John Lakeman. Welcome back to another episode of Talking to Teachers. Today I'm here with Mr. Lopez.
What's up, man? Good to see you, John.
So can you tell us a little bit more about what you do at CBA?
As the director of music, I run our jazz ensemble, jazz combo, men's choir, direct the musicals, and I teach a bunch of classes here as well.
All right, cool. All right, so I have a bunch of questions lined up, but before we get into the interview, I want you to tell me what's been on repeat lately. So what songs, albums, artists have you been into recently?
Yeah. I really got into, by surprise, the newest Paramore album.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really got into the new Paramore album. I'm also really, right now as we're gearing into the summer, like getting into Ripe a lot. Yeah, Ripe, super hip, modern band, really great summer vibes, right? Yeah.
Awesome. I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
All right, so we recently went on the Nashville trip in March. It was a 4-day trip. The itinerary for that trip was incredible. Can you tell us about what we did on the trip?
Yeah, so we had so many great experiences. Some of the things we got to do a performance from the Jazz Combo in the Country Music Hall of Fame, as well as the choir in the Country Music Hall of Fame. And before that, we brought the Jazz Ensemble and the Rock Club into the historic RCA Studio B, which is a really famous recording studio where Elvis did some recording and a lot of big names, and we got to do our own private recording session. We also got to see a performance at the Grand Ole Opry, which surprised us because we saw Darius Rucker without necessarily planning on it. And really, we got to go to downtown Nashville and really just immerse ourselves in the culture of Nashville and basically just live in a music environment for 4 days. Yeah.
That was awesome, that trip.
Yeah.
And then after, a week ago, 2 weeks ago now?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
We had the spring concert here at CBI in Henderson Theater.
Yeah.
I felt that in my 3 years in the music department, this year was the most unique. Like, what do you think changed this year?
I mean, there's a number of things. I think just the energy coming off of the momentum of Nashville, I think what happened was we really spent a lot of time building a community this year. And I think what happened was we brought in so many people from so many different, we had over 55 unique individuals performing on the stage, and everyone, I remember we were meeting in the room beforehand, and just the energy in that room was just so positive. And I think that's really what propelled us to just have an awesome night. Everyone was on their best game, and the audience was great. I think I also have to give credit where credit's due. Mr. Ariema has come in and really just changed the shape of our choir and our contemporary rock program, and I think that his energy is really infectious, and I really think it brought a lot of people out of their shells for that concert.
Yeah. And then we had the senior band for Rock Club. Was that new this year?
Yeah, that was a new thing. That was very student-led. That was... students had to learn things on their own outside to come together and rehearse inside, and that it was just a testament to their work, and it's a kind of a tradition that I think we're looking to keep, that you work your way up to the senior band and try to create like real live gigging scenarios.
I like that a lot. That'd be really cool to play gigs.
Yeah.
And then what about I saw the AP Theory, or not, was it the Standard Theory guys?
Oh yeah. We had the Standard Theory guys. So that's not necessarily a new class. Like, it's been in different iterations for a couple of years. This year we had 4 students, which at first was like, I was like, what are we going to do with a small class? And then we got in there and I realized we had 4 passionate students who were so into music but didn't necessarily know the mechanics. So we just built from the ground up the mechanics of reading and writing music, and we did that through learning rhythm on drum set, learning scales on a piano, and eventually everyone kind of found their instrument that they liked, and they started jamming, and then we learned how to improvise, and I was like, do you want to perform on the concert? So that was their hard work. We learned the fundamentals in class, but again, they took it outside of school. They worked really hard to basically learn instruments in 1 year. So yeah,
it's a great way to apply it.
Yeah.
And then we also had the All Shore Jazz Festival, which was a great opportunity for students in Monmouth and Ocean County to watch each other play in like a non-competitive scenario. So why is that important?
I think it's so important because I think with so many things like around school and sports and even performing arts, like there's so many competitive circuits, and that's really cool and important. I think we've found ourselves in those scenarios every year. um, but there is something to be said about having an opportunity to just engage with like-minded individuals your age and just like see what other schools are doing in a 100% supportive way. It was really special. There were some really great bands. There are programs around us that are doing some incredible things that need to be highlighted. Um, and at the same time, it was really great for other schools to see what we do here at CBA. I think performing arts has been on the rise, and all of you guys are working so hard. I think it was a really special opportunity for your peers that you went to middle school with and you went to elementary school with that you haven't seen in a while to come watch you and support you 100%. So that's why it felt so special.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Now on Friday, we're gonna have a master class. So can you tell me a little bit about who's going to come to the school and work with the jazz combo and the ensemble?
Yeah. So a colleague of mine, Emmanuel Solano, is a really incredible percussionist. He's currently finishing up a master's program at New Jersey City University. He is an active gigging freelance percussionist. He just finished playing On Your Feet, Sound of Music, and a couple of shows at the Paper Mill Playhouse in New Jersey, which is really incredible feat, especially being one of my friends from childhood. Seeing him get to do this opportunity is super cool. And he specializes a lot in world music and specifically like Latin and African, Afro-Cuban music. And he's taught me so much that I figured we kind of worked a lot on Latin music this year, and we made it a goal of ours. And so I figured a great way to cap off this year was to work with somebody who is an expert in that field and give us some new perspective on like how we can play that music better, and also have an opportunity for you guys to talk to and hear from a real gigging musician. Not all of us necessarily want to do that in life, but I think that's a perspective that not all of us get to just talk to. So I think it's kind of hand in hand of both like a Latin session and real world experience and a conversation that you get to have with somebody.
Yeah, it's great that you get those like both sides of it. You get that extra perspective. I think that's necessary.
Yeah.
Especially like kids thinking about what they want to do in college.
Yeah.
That's like a great,
right.
a great
resource, right?
Yeah,
and
resource.
like you can ask those questions that you've always wanted to ask, and you ask me. But at the end of the day, I'm here doing, and I chose this path. There's people who chose these other paths, and there's even more paths outside of there where people are pursuing music not in a college setting and didn't go to school for it and are still pursuing music, right? And that's an awesome perspective to have too. So
great opportunity for the kids. And then what is the itinerary for the class? What are we going to work on?
So we're going to start off by watching him do kind of a lecture recital where he's going to go over a couple different Latin genres and play them for you in live time with tracks. And then the jazz ensemble and the combo, but first the jazz ensemble is going to come up. They'll perform some Latin tunes, and he'll give us some feedback in live time and kind of give us some suggestions and ideas to make it more authentic. So we'll do that. And then our rhythm section players, because he's a percussionist, they're going to get a rhythm section masterclass where he'll just specifically focus on them and their jobs. And then our percussionist will get an opportunity to take a lesson as well with him.
That's great.
So, yeah.
And then I feel like Latin music has been like a big part of the music program in the past couple of years. I know since my freshman year, there's always been at least one Latin tune in the set for both combo and ensemble.
Yeah,
right?
Super important. I think it's important that you all graduate here having played every type of genre, because there's so many things in this world. The output of music is so huge that like if we kept ourselves in one bubble, we wouldn't come out of here well-rounded individuals.
Yeah, it helps you to grow as a musician.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
And then I know you're talking about the competitive aspect of music a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, the Pegasus Production Company recently got nominated for 14 Basie Awards between the Fall Play Rumors and the Spring Musical Godspell, including 2 nominations for you. outstanding small music ensemble, and outstanding music direction. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Appreciate
and then for outstanding music direction, I believe,
Yeah.
Sam Farrell got nominated as well as you. Was that the first time that you had a student music director in the musical?
So I believe before my time it had happened before.
Okay.
So I'm not sure before, but since I've been here, this is the first time we've had a student music director, and even more special than just having somebody there like watching. Sam Farrell was an incredible resource. Sam really learned what it meant to be a music director. He accompanied rehearsals, he taught vocal parts, he conducted in the performance, he played lead piano and conducted. I took a back seat. He led the pit, led the cast. He did what it meant to be a music director, and that to me was one of my favorite parts of this entire process, was getting to watch a student experience the thing that gives me so much joy, and get to watch a student at that age learn to do it. So yeah, it was just a really special experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It made it feel more like a band.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that feel.
Exactly. Instead of me conducting at you guys, which I do all the time, it's cool that you guys get to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really special.
And again, helpful to grow as a musician.
Oh, yeah,
to have some sort of leadership role like that.
Absolutely. But I mean, honestly, that whole cast was so incredible. I think the nomination for small music ensemble and music direction, and the other one that I think is really valuable is the nomination for our chorus, right?
Yep.
That's all the students. I don't get nominated for music director because of me. I get nominated because how the pit sounds and how the cast sounds and how they work together. That is a nomination that is really all of yours. In the small music ensemble, I'm playing keys, you are all doing heavy lifting every night as well. Like, that is all you guys. So I think that's really exciting that we have nominations that we can be proud of, like, as a collective. That's really special.
Yeah, the entire company definitely works
Yeah.
incredibly hard. I was blown away, like, not having been in a musical before, and then hearing all those kids sing, I was like,
Yeah.
everybody can sing. What?
Yeah, it's a really unique, and we talked about this before you even got involved. I was like, you have to come do it to understand
Exactly.
that, like, musical theater for a musician is going to be one of the hardest things you've ever had to do, right? And it's going to force you to be a better musician.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also just such a unique, like, long art form that, like, looks very different on the outside than on the inside. So I thought it was really special that you got to join us this year and kind of become part of that family and experience it for yourself, especially coming from a way different background.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was like backwards. Everything got flipped.
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
It was crazy. And then I saw on the Instagram that Pegasus posted about a musical over the summer.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Pegasus is going to be producing a musical this summer, Lightning Thief. It's an alumni-produced musical. We're going to be hosting it here in at Henderson Theater. It's the first time that there's been a Pegasus alumni show musical. It's been plays in the past, and Mr. Roscoe has spent a lot of time kind of building that alumni network, and post COVID, it's been hard to put up productions, but now that we have a really great team of adults and alumni, we figured it was time to do this, and so we're going to put on Percy Jackson Lightning Thief, which is a musical, believe it or not. It's actually a super cool musical. It's really fun. Auditions will actually be open auditions, so anyone can come audition for our show. They don't actually necessarily have to be in Pegasus or have to be a Pegasus alumni. It's really, really special. It's the first time we're going to do that, but current students can also audition, so it's going to create like a new environment for our community to, like, do this art form together with new people and with people who haven't been together for a long time, and it's going to be a really special experience. Yeah.
And I think that's definitely an important aspect of CVA, like the whole alumni network.
Yeah.
The fact that you have that support, you have people that are still, like, willing to come back and participate and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
That's great. So thank you so much, Mr. Lopez, for being on the episode. This concludes our episode. Here's to many more years of great music at the Academy.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for listening. God bless.